Hello, my name is Devin Fernandez, and I'm the Group Product Manager for the Web segment here at Adobe Systems. And today I'd like to show you a Dreamweaver prototype that we call Smart Paste. Now, Smart Paste is a simple way to take vector artwork and the benefits of vector artwork out of a tool such as Illustrator and place it into a web page in Dreamweaver. Now, the key to this is that we're going to be using the HTML5 canvas tag, as well as the fact that we're not going to write any code ourselves. So the workflow is pretty simple. I'm in Illustrator and I would work the same way that I do today. I would create the chart and I would just copy it. So let's select all, copy it, and then we'll head into Dreamweaver. Now in Dreamweaver I already have a page open here and I even have some space allocated for that chart. So I'm going to select that div and switch over to Code View. And what I'm going to do now is use the Smart Paste command. Now the Smart Paste command now shows me three different options for placing the artwork. I could place it as a vector graphic, I could place it as a chart, or as an animation. For the sake of simplicity, we're going to start with vector graphics. Say OK, and you can see that a block of code has been written here in Dreamweaver. Now, there are three things that I want you to take a look at in this block of code. The first is this canvas element. We are using the HTML5 canvas element here, so it's written out here in line 218. And then there's a reference here in line 215 to an FXG file. An FXG is an XML-based graphics interchange format. And what it does for us here is it preserves the vector information from the original Illustrator file. And then we also have some JavaScript up here because we need the JavaScript to render the FXG file in the canvas area. And that JavaScript is written to an external JavaScript file, which you can see here, and it can be accessed from Dreamweaver's related files bar. I'm going to return to the source code, and what we need to do now is just save the page, and let's go take a look at it here in the browser. So now you can see immediately that the chart that I was working with in Illustrator is now placed here in the web page. And if I inspect the element, the first thing I'd like to show you is that this is in fact using Canvas to render. In addition, if I double click it, you can see that this is actually vector artwork. The chart scales up gracefully. There's no degradation in the visual appearance, and so everything looks very nice and very crisp. So just a quick recap of what just happened. We took vector artwork from Illustrator and preserved the vector nature of it and placed it into a web page using Dreamweaver and the HTML5 canvas element as well as FXG, and we did all that without writing any code. Now, given that this is vector artwork, we can actually make it dynamic by binding it to a data source. So let's take a look at how we might do that. So the idea here is to bind a simple set of data here with this artwork in Illustrator and place it on the page in Dreamweaver. Alright, so let's take a quick look at the artwork that I'm working with here in Illustrator. You'll notice in the Layers panel here that the objects I'm working with are tagged or basically named using the column names in my data set. So what that allows us to do is to scale the bars in the chart to the values in our data set. So let's take a look how we would actually do that. Let's go back to Dreamweaver. And what I'm going to do is remove the code that we wrote just a moment ago, and we're going to use the Smart Paste command again. So let's use Smart Paste. This time we're going to choose the chart function. So I've got a chart here, or rather I need to do two things to make the chart actually work. I need to specify a data set, and then I need to specify the artwork that I would like to bind the data to. So let's start with the data set. I'm going to choose an XML data set right here. So I choose it. We can use XML formatted data from any source, including a dynamic source or a live source. And now I need to also choose the artwork. So I'm going to use this same Illustrator file that I've been using this whole time. And I'm just going to say OK. And when I do that, again, a block of code is written here in Dreamweaver. And again, there's the canvas tag and there's the JavaScript. But the difference here is that I have not only a reference to the FXG file, but also a reference to my data set here. So let's take a look at the results. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to return to the browser. And now as I refresh, what you should notice is that the data set, or rather the chart, the bars in the chart will scale to the values within my data set. So let's go ahead and refresh. And you can see that, in fact, yes, the bars do scale to the values in my data set. So a quick recap. We took not only vector artwork from Illustrator this time, but we bound it to an XML data set and created basically a dynamic chart here using, again, the HTML5 canvas tag and FXG. And we placed that on a page here in Dreamweaver to get the dynamic chart. And we've done all this without writing any code. Now, Smart Paste is really just one building block for future solutions we'd like to implement to enhance and improve the web design workflows around things like HTML5 or even CSS3. Possibly the next step we might take would be to, or at least we were thinking, maybe we could use Smart Paste with Ajax widgets to enable a vastly richer skinning workflow where you'd be able to skin the widgets using, say, Illustrator or Photoshop. Pretty exciting, but I suspect that you, the users, probably could think of much more interesting things to do with Smart Paste. So I'd really like to encourage you, and am excited to hear about the ways that you might use Smart Paste. Thank you.